Hello, Year 1 TTC students. Welcome back to Remote Learning for TTC through radio lessons. My name is Teacher Emma, and I'm going to be taking you through today's lesson. Again, this is a reminder that you have to take precautionary measures to avoid COVID. And as a result of COVID, you all know that our schools are closed. To support continued learning, Rwanda Education Board, in partnership with the World Bank and other partners, to support remote learning through TTC. And therefore, today, we are also going to be going through cross-cutting issues, which we looked at last time in the previous lesson, and describe them and understand their importance in the Rwandan curriculum. This lesson is picked from Unit 5 of Year 1 syllabus entitled the Competence-Based Curriculum. As usual, ensure that you are in a free environment, an environment that will allow you to be able to follow this lesson. And as usual, please make sure you have a pen and a notebook. So my friends, today we're still looking at cross-cutting issues. As I did mention last time, that in our curriculum, both primary, especially the basic education curriculum, there are cross-cutting issues that were identified, and we saw that we have 8 cross-cutting issues, and we realized that these cross-cutting issues are not stand-alone subjects. However, we saw that quite a number, some of them are units within different subjects, but others are also integrated during the teaching learning process. Now, my friends, I am going to read a situation, and I want you to listen carefully. And after, you are going to be answering the related questions. A primary 4 social studies teacher grouped learners in 4s, 2 boys and 2 girls. He requested each group to discuss and suggest measures to fight soil erosion. After 5 minutes, he invited a boy and a girl from 2 different groups to share what they came up with in their groups. Now, my friends, I want you to write down the 2 main issues that the teacher is trying to address in the above situation. Student teachers, I hope all that you have thought about of the environment and gender as issues that the teacher is targeting in this lesson. Environment, sustainability, and gender are 2 examples of cross-cutting issues that the Rwandan curriculum aims at addressing. My friends, take your pen again and write what you understand by cross-cutting issues. What are they? You have a second, you have a few seconds to write down what you know about cross-cutting issues. Wonderful. I hope you were able to write down what you understand by the term cross-cutting issues. Now, let us see whether what I have is similar to what you have written down. Cross-cutting issues are global issues that the world and society face across years and cycles. It is very important for our learners to learn about them. Integrating cross-cutting issues will provide an opportunity for learners to acquire knowledge, skills, and values which will enable them address issues in their lives and in communities where they come from. Let me repeat that, and I want you to take note of this. Cross-cutting issues are global issues that the world and society faces across years and cycles. Therefore, it is important for our learners to learn about them. Integrating cross-cutting issues will provide an opportunity for learners to acquire knowledge, skills, and values which will enable them address salient issues in their lives and in communities where they come from. My friends, I hope you have now an understanding of what cross-cutting issues are. Those issues include, but not limited to, the following. I'm just going to be reminding you this. We have genocide studies. We have environment and sustainability. We have peace and education. Peace and values education. We have gender, comprehensive sexuality, financial education, standardization culture, and inclusive education. Dear student teachers, I am going to read sentences containing knowledge that links to one of the cross-cutting issues. I will pause after each sentence, and you will write on a paper a cross-cutting issue related. I will give you the answer later for you to check your understanding and correct yourself. Are you ready? Good. Let's start now. Number 1. Equips children, adolescents, and young people with knowledge, skills, and values in an age-appropriate and culturally gender-sensitive manner, so as to enable them make responsible choices about their sexual and social relationships. I want you to write down a cross-cutting issue that is related to that. Good. Number 2. Rwandan children should take part in fighting genocide ideology and genocide denial. Rwandan children should take part in fighting genocide ideology and genocide denial. I want you to write down an issue that it is related to. Number 3. Advocates for the need to balance economic growth, society well-being, and ecological systems. Let me repeat. Advocates for the need to balance economic growth, society well-being, and ecological systems. Can you write down the answer? Number 4. Promotes social cohesion, positive values, including pluralism and personal responsibility, empathy, critical thinking, and action in order to build a more peaceful society. Can you write down the cross-cutting issue that is addressed in here? Number 5. Family complementarity, gender roles, responsibilities, the need for gender equity and equality, gender sensitivity, gender mainstreaming, and their related issues. Number 6, make appropriate financial decisions that best fit the circumstances of one's life. Okay? Number 7, right to equality and equitable education that meets their basic learning needs and understands the diversity of backgrounds and abilities as a learning opportunity. Okay? And lastly, health improvement, economic growth, industrialization, trade and general welfare of the people, What is the answer? Great. Now, let us see your answers in comparison with what I have here. Number 1 was about equipping children, adolescents, and young people with knowledge, skills, and values in an age-appropriate and culturally gender-sensitive manner so as to enable them make responsible choices about their sexual and social relationships. The answer is comprehensive sexuality education. Is that what you have? Wonderful. Rwandan children should take part in fighting genocide ideology and genocide denial. The answer is, of course, the cross-cutting issues that we are looking at here is genocide studies. Advocates for the need to balance economic growth, societal well-being, and ecological system. Our answer is the environmental sustainability. Promotes social cohesion, positive values, including pluralism and personal responsibility, empathy, critical thinking, and action in order to build a more peaceful society. The answer is peace and values education. Is that what you have? Great. Family complementarity, gender roles, responsibilities, the need for gender equity and equality, gender sensitive, gender mainstreaming, and other related issues that is to do with gender. Making appropriate financial decisions that best fit circumstances of one's life, and that falls under financial education. Yes, and the other one that we looked at was right to equality and equitable education that meets their basic learning needs and understands the diversity of backgrounds and abilities as a learning opportunity. And the answer is inclusive education. Health improvement, economic growth and industrialization, trade and general welfare of the people, and that is standardization culture. Student teachers, now we understand cross-cutting issues and we can describe them. Do you think it is important to integrate them in teaching and learning? Yes. If yes, like I do believe, write down your answer. Why do you think it is important to integrate cross-cutting issues in our day-to-day teaching? You have a few seconds to write your answer. Well done, students. Cross-cutting issues must be integrated in teaching and learning because it is important for learners to not only have them as an academic knowledge, but also know how that the knowledge affects their lives and the world at a larger stage. Connecting school to social and professional lives, they also help learners to be fully prepared as good citizens who strive to build a better Rwanda and the globe. Do you see how important it is? Yes. So my friends, it is always very important that whenever we are going to be teaching and whenever we are going to be planning, especially when it comes to planning these lessons, we need to really take time and ensure that whatever approach that we are going to be using, let's bear into mind these cross-cutting issues and how they will be included or integrated into the lessons. Remind again, please take it upon yourself that it's not a must that all the 8 cross-cutting issues must appear within or in one lesson. 2, again, sometimes in most cases, there are moments, especially like in social studies, where we are required to use a variety of teaching methods, the same way with other subjects. But in a special way, there are even moments where we use resource persons. we get to come in. So we're teaching about, professions within our communities. And you can call in a doctor to come into your class. You can call in an elder to come and talk about culture. Or you can talk about an agronomist to come and talk about environmental conservation. So there are so many things that you can be able to do. But what the new competence-based curriculum calls us to do, it is to make sure that as we plan this lesson, let us think about the resources that we need. Some of the resources are free or no cost resources. And that's why you need, first of all, to ensure that you prepare ahead of time. When you prepare ahead of time, then you know, what do I need for my lesson? And in terms of materials, but also in terms of, do we need some resource persons to come in? So you're teaching about peace. You can talk about people. Role such people can play in ensuring that students get to understand and appreciate the topic that they are learning. So, we did mention that these cross-cutting issues are global in nature, and therefore, we not only teach them for academic purposes, but we want to ensure or to instill in children these concepts such that even when they grow up, they become responsible for their life, but also for the life of others. Now, my dear friends, remember, we said that it is very paramount to integrate cross-cutting issues in our teaching and learning processes because they are important for learners. And we saw that it is not only for academic knowledge, but also to know how the knowledge affects their lives and the world at large. Connecting school to social and professional lives. This is going to help learners to fully be prepared to be good citizens who strive to build a better Rwanda and the globe. When we talk of, for example, preparing and conserving the environment, if someone does bush burning, that is going to affect not only him, but the entire community. Because we know that forests and bushes, they contribute so much in the rain formation. And therefore, because of one man's activity, the entire community is going to suffer. So that is why, when we integrate all these aspects into the teaching learning process, apart from them gaining knowledge, but knowledge will also become part of their lives, and that will help them to protect themselves, but also the communities and the world at large. So my friends, as we come to the end of our lesson, I want us to review some of the key points that we learned about cross-cutting issues. Cross-cutting issues, I know it's new, and it came with the new competence-based curriculum, but as teachers, we are encouraged to always apply them, integrate them in our teaching learning processes. Cross-cutting issues are important for learners to learn about and must be integrated across learning areas appropriately, since they are not confined to one subject. The issues are embedded within all subjects across the years rather than having a dedicated timetable slot for their own. Integrating cross-cutting issues will provide an opportunity for learners to acquire knowledge, skills, and values which will enable them address issues in their lives, but also in the community where they come from. And remember, these issues which we looked at, they include but not limited to the following. We looked at genocide studies, environment and sustainability, peace and values education, gender, comprehensive sexuality education, financial education, standardization culture, and inclusive education. My friends, before I leave, I am going to give you a homework assignment so that it will help you understand better or more, get a deeper insight of what we have learned, and will introduce us to the next topic as well. I would like you to try and set a learning activity in any topic from any subject of your choice. I want you to describe the basic and generic competences embedded in that activity and cross-cutting issues also that will be integrated. Have you gotten the assignment? I am going to give you this assignment, and as I mentioned, it is going to help you deepen your understanding. And again, it is going to introduce us to our next topic, which is going to be, we will be looking at generic and basic and generic competences. So I want you to think of a topic of your choice in any subject. Think about the generic competences, but also come up with integrating, cross-cutting issues that you want to integrate in this lesson. When we come next time, we will look at that, but also I want to really emphasize that always review the notes that you take in these lessons that we do, and I want to appeal to all our tutors out there. Please support our student teachers if they have questions as regards these lessons that we air every now and then. Student teachers, parents, tutors, thank you for your kind attention and participation in this lesson. This lesson has been developed by Rwanda Education Board in collaboration with the World Bank and other partners. Please stay tuned to these radio lessons for TTC. Until next time, goodbye.